Good evening. Welcome to Winthrop Votes Live. Todd Sacco here with my co-host and greatest producer in all the land of Facebook, Scotty McLean. What's going on, big guy?
Nothing at all, man. Just ready to do show number 39.
Really? 39?
We're at 39, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
When did this start? This hasn't been a year, has it?
No, but we pushed during the election, we pushed a couple times a week. We were doing it.
That's right.
So,
hey, do you recognize the hat on my head?
That's the Gadsden. That's the "Don't Tread on Me" hat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tonight,
we'll
get some
that.
updates. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Let's wait for people to kind of roll in for a minute.
Yep, sounds good.
So I was up in Tallahassee this past weekend.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. You told me that. How was it?
Yeah. My stepson graduated from FSU with a degree in physics and a minor in astrophysics. Let me tell you something
really?
about Huh? What's that?
I said, really? That's amazing.
Yeah. He's definitely his mother's son. A lot of brain power in this house. Right. And I'll just
coming from the minority, coming from only the one.
Yeah, you knew that was coming. Hey, I is smart.
I'm sorry. You gave it to me. I'm sorry.
I'm smart. I'm not stupid like everybody thinks. I'm smart, and I demand respect.
I'm wicked smart.
Let me tell you something about Tallahassee. Number one, that is old Florida right there. You know what they don't have in Tallahassee? Palm trees. Northern Florida, they have, it's like being in New Hampshire.
That's right.
You know, I'll tell you what, it is, the locals are an interesting looking crowd. Let's put it that way. Nice people.
Does there need to be a dental implant business open up down there?
No, it's just good old boys and girls.
Gotcha.
And, everybody's nice, but the Tallahassee, tell you what, that place is going to turn into Tallahassee at the end of the month because it's hot up there, man. That's the place that you don't want to be in the summer.
So I hear.
Tallahassee is hot, man. Turn on the sweat machine.
It's landlocked, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no ocean breeze there, buddy. No ocean breeze there.
Can't have
so
that.
Let me see. Let me get to see what's going on in the chat over here. All right. My buddy Bobby G watching.
Bobby G.
So, all right, I think we got enough people in. What's on the agenda for tonight, my friend?
So first, a couple things. I know we're launching our new kind of series plural. Places you grew up in Winthrop, which we'll have a few minutes on that tonight. We're also started a new series. We're launching tonight. We have a special guest, Lauren Murphy from Ace Hardware. And that's going to be interesting. She's going to share with us a little bit about her background, her business, what motivates her, those types of things. But before we get started, it's been, as far as I'm concerned, if you think about national news, local news, it's been a couple of weeks of really good news if you are someone who loves freedom, right? You had Elon Musk, fighting to get free speech back into the social media platforms and cleaning up that mess. I mean, that's a debate. We could debate one way or the other, but the fact of the matter is it was definitely not going in the right direction. And we recently had some interesting news where the Supreme Court found in favor of this local religious charity that was flying. They were denied the right to fly a flag over the Boston City Hall. And the Supreme Court ruled in their favor 9-0 that it was discriminatory.
All right, we're gonna get into that, right?
Yeah.
What else are we gonna talk about? Anything else?
Yep. And we also have found out that the skating rink in the old middle school, we've known this. Some of us have known this. The public really hasn't. And I'm going to keep it super simple. But we've learned, more people have learned that the old middle school and the rink share a water line and have 2 meters. There's 2 meters one water line, right? Well, there's two water lines now, but one's not connected.
We'll talk
And it
about
seems
that.
that the rink has been a town, like the rest of the town buildings, been abated, or it hasn't paid their taxes ever.
All right.
I'm sorry, their water bill ever.
All right.
This
We'll
isn't a
get into
knock on
that.
anybody. We'll talk about that, but this is not an attack.
You want to introduce our first business owner, Winthrop business owner?
Yeah. So before we go into that stuff, let's not delay. Let's bring on Lauren Murphy from Ace Hardware. Welcome, Mrs. Murphy. What was that?
The audience was clapping. What was that?
I said it's a very professional introduction. I have to admit I've not seen the show before, so your whole intro, everything.
Well,
thank you. Thank you. It's all me.
We've been working at this because I'm like the lion, he's the tamer in this particular arrangement, and I'm just like all over the place.
I'm teaching him as we go.
He's teaching me with bananas. So, Lauren, first of all, thank you for participating in this. We think, the idea of this really is not obviously for you to get more business, share how you're part of the community, those sorts of things. And for us to make this Winthrop Votes page or group and live stream more community focused, because that's really what this is all about. Just so you know, by way of a little bit of background, this whole thing started with this hat and there was a flag flying issue. We won't get lost in it, but it started with putting transparency into local government, and it's continuing to grow in the way that we want to make it a little bit more community focused as well. So it's not always talking about the heavy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So with that, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll start lobbing some questions at you.
Okay. I started at the store as a teenager after school, and slowly kind of realized that I wanted to work for myself, and it seemed like a path to get there. And after years and years of working a million hours, I bought the store outright just about a year and a half ago. Paul and I, the previous owner, were partners for a couple of years leading up to it. So while I'm new to the sole ownership, I'm not new to the store, and very much like my home. It's where I definitely grew up. So it's an important place for me, and it's somewhere that I love. So.
Wow.
And by the way, Scott, I can attest to the fact that she knows the business, because if I go in there with a question, it's answered promptly, quickly, and with a smile.
How many different types of hammers do you carry? Told you I was going to ask you.
That is a question I wasn't prepared for, but we have a sufficient selection.
But I told you I was going to ask you a hammer question.
What kind of hammer do I use?
I was hoping it didn't get too specific, to be honest.
What's your favorite hammer?
The one you can find when you need it, right?
How about the one people buy?
Yeah, that one too.
That's the best hammer.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, one of the things I'm always curious about is, okay, so you said you graduated high school and then went to work.
I started after school when I was in 10th or 11th grade, and I actually dropped out in 11th grade and started working full time and just like dug in. So
you dropped out of high school?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. See, that's amazing. I'm serious. That is amazing. You hear that all the time. You hear it all the time. Oh, people, you need a degree. You need to get this. You are a great example of not to drop out. I'm not suggesting kids drop out.
But she was fearless.
Yeah, you saw what you wanted and you went for it, and you figured, well, do you have to get a degree in business to own a business? Evidently not.
No,
right?
You definitely need the right combination, I think, of like mentorship and the right stroke of luck, but also you need to be a hard worker, right? Because there was a lot of sacrifice to get to this point. So I'm learning now the sacrifice didn't end. You're still getting harder. The days got even longer, but it's all for a good reason. So
absolutely. Are you, if you don't mind me asking, are you married?
No.
Okay.
I'm married to the business for sure.
I was going to say, because how does that affect?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
hard.
but
Yeah, it's hard.
So, so Lauren, what, you were in the business for a number of years and then you took ownership, right? Now, aside from all the stress, the different stresses, what are some of the bigger surprises that you'd be willing to, share with us with regard to your ownership of the business versus just working there?
Everything happened so gradually for me over the years with the store. I became a partner, I think, like 4 or 5 years ago. So I was really lucky to get my feet wet years ago. And I really, not too much has been a surprise. I've seen it all. I knew what to expect. I think the biggest surprise probably was we had a huge group. We had a big group of people that were there for a really long time, and just with the timing of everything with COVID, that retired a lot of them. So the biggest surprise, I think, maybe might be how amazing new people can be. Sometimes you're nervous to dig into new people, and maybe you don't make the time for them. But we've got an amazing group of people who are really pretty new, who learn fast, work hard, and want to know more. So that's been huge for me.
let me ask you a question. I want to get back to because that's fascinating to me, that you really took the plunge and just said, you know what, high school, I don't really need it. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. How was the reaction of your family when you decided, hey, this is what I'm going to walk my own path?
It was hard. It's been years of not just with my family, my immediate family. I think I've been really lucky, has supported me.
Yes.
Literally, all along the way. Yeah. And, but even with just the general public, like, when you work in a small town like this, you get a lot of people who feel like they can say what they want to you. So as a young kid, it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to work here forever? And I'm like, well, actually, I might.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I don't encourage, I think that I'm not a proponent for dropping out. High school was really hard for me I had some other stuff going on. And so that's why I chose the path that I did. And I think in some ways it made it harder, but I think also, like, I'm not carrying student loan debt over my head for forever. And I think that's a huge benefit.
Right.
Yeah, running a business. I did it for a short time, and on the new employee thing, like I sold my business because I wanted to really grow it. We essentially were servicing used car vehicles on the dealership lots. We were repairing the interiors where they sat, like after they came out of cleanup. Not that's not important, but finding technicians was a nightmare, and then trusting them. Like, I provided a vehicle, all the equipment. They were going into my customer's place of business.
Yeah.
So having a really good employee, and I only had one, and she was amazing. She was the best thing ever. Is really, you got to have at least one.
Yeah.
2 would be ideal, right? Like, that second one just helps.
They're they're your biggest asset, right? Or your biggest detriment, depending on which way it goes. And I definitely feel so grateful for everyone at the store. We're really lucky.
So Lauren, let me ask you this: would you say, and you have vast experience at this point in this career field and in that type of environment, would you say that a hardware store is a man's world, so to speak? and I'm getting to something with this.
Okay.
And how were you treated by certain, like, macho, or as the liberals would call them, toxic males that come in and, like, you don't know anything type thing?
Oh, I don't do that.
I was going to say, I hate to break it to you, but that has not been my experience with you at all.
Good.
It has been my experience, just not specifically with anybody here. So,
so you run into something like that. You don't know enough, or you're just a kid, or you're just a young girl.
100%, and it's constant. And I feel torn sometimes because it's sometimes like the more annoying voice is the louder voice, right? Like squeaky wheel gets the grease, that type of thing. We have a huge customer base in town, and they're lovely, lovely people, like loyal customers, wonderful, like friends, who come now to seek me out, which is the biggest compliment I think you could get. And I love seeing that with the younger crew at the store too, when they know they found someone that they can go right to.
Good.
But it takes time, and I think it takes more time and more effort as a young woman in the business, unfortunately. And I don't think I'm done seeing it, but I think that I've learned to handle it better. So
I would think in a small town like Winthrop, but you also get people coming in from East Boston, I would assume also.
Right.
Yeah, Winthrop, Revere, East Boston, and lately Chelsea, Nahant. It really COVID kind of stretched the limits, which has been great.
So your clientele pretty much in Winthrop, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's the outside towns that come in that might look at things a little differently in there or treat people differently. No,
I think maybe not always. I think
if I'm wrong, please tell me. No,
I don't think it's like a man or a woman thing or an age thing. I think just certain people, it's your point of view, right? Like, what do you think you're going to get from someone? Because sometimes, it'll be like, oh, can I speak to the manager? Oh, hey, I'm the manager. Oh, well, can I talk to your boss? You're still stuck with me. So
you just do a 360, turn around, go, here I am. Oh, the boss, turn around. Here I am.
Yeah. But it's always a good laugh after the fact. You're like, well.
Right.
Oh, it's sweet. It's just sweet justice right there as far as I'm concerned.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, it's good to know you're not running into stuff like that, because I know there's certain regions in the country that, like I just said, I was in Tallahassee the other day, and I can tell you right now that is a pretty interesting group of people. And I could see that maybe being one of the issues.
I think
the good old boys and
I'm
not stereotyping. Trust me, it's just the way it is.
It's
up there.
It's legitimate. It's a legitimate issue.
Yeah.
But I think it's how you handle it, right? And I think I've definitely dealt with some things like coming even into ownership, even from some people I knew really well that asked some questions that were like, would you be asking me that if I were a guy? I'm not really sure. I don't think
so. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you belong to like any organizations, women, small business owners?
I am not listed yet on the women's business page, only because I bought the store through COVID. So it's been like being in a pressure cooker for 2.5 years. There hasn't really been time to handle all the things you want to do on the side. We've been just kind of like trying to keep up.
Because I was going to ask, how is that a support? Like, how does that work?
There's actually a wonderful, wonderful woman in town who is retired and kind of picks and chooses where she wants to take on work. And she has reached out to me and asked if she could do the legwork for me.
Wow.
I was so grateful, and I need to circle back with her because I'm super appreciative. Yeah.
Those people don't come along too often.
We have an amazing community that, you meet the right people, and it's really impressive. You feel really good about where you're from and who you're working with. So
Winthrop's pretty good at circling the wagons around local businesses and the people that need help in Winthrop too.
Yeah.
So
Lauren, curious, what's your favorite part about all of this?
I think my favorite part about the whole, I like helping people. I like being a nice person. I hope that's generally how I come off. We all have our days, but my favorite thing I think has been working with some of the families, like the kids in town, because we've had entire families work for us. The older sister and then 4 kids later, which is the situation we're in right now. Their cousin, the cousin's younger sister. It's really, I feel lucky to be involved in their lives and watch them grow up and see what they go and take on. And I think that's a really cool place to know that they're starting working with us, and hopefully setting a good base of what they should expect later in life.
I mean, I honestly, like, I know one of your former, I think she's former because she's in school now, Chloe, you remember Chloe?
Yeah. Well, Chloe was the second. Her older sister Olivia worked with us first. So,
that's right. I graduated with Sean.
Okay.
So they were my favorite, but I mean, you couldn't ask for a better role model for those two. And I think the town of Winthrop is very lucky to have you as a business owner. I mean, it seems to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me you're looking inside your borders first for help. You're trying to take care of the kids. And that's a huge passion of mine. If you ever do start watching our show, I know Monday nights are kind of special and important to you. So, by the way, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes, we do. We do.
Yes. But I it's just nice to see that you're working towards the community. If you ever get to watch us in more frequency, you'll find everything I do is all about, at the end of the day, it's the kids in the community. Scott and I think it's a good idea to have more community focus on local politics, because in the end, it affects the kids the most.
Yeah.
So what you're doing, what you're doing, it's kind of what I'm all about.
Thank you. It's definitely what I'm trying to do. I hope that, nobody wants an unhappy employee, right? But I call us a team all the time. I mean it. Like, we all function together. And if somebody's not happy or not having a good time, then we need to figure it out and make it better. So
that's a good boss right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good boss. You have a fan in Wendy Millar Page.
End of the show.
Because Lauren Murphy is a fabulous person and an amazing businesswoman. Yes. She rocks. There you go. You got a little fan club going. I think you got a bigger fan club than you might know, Lauren.
Thanks.
Hey, listen, I am thoroughly impressed with that story. That is a great success story, because you are successful, and you will continue to be successful, and you will continue to be an asset to Winthrop, no doubt. No doubt.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I think what you guys are doing with this business segment is awesome. I think that the last couple of years for small business owners has been trying, doesn't even begin to touch on it. However you feel about COVID, whether masks are gone or masks stay, like, it has been intense and it has been grueling, and to try to rally around each other right now and hopefully forever moving forward is the best thing we can do.
That's a great attitude. Yes.
And it's a great point. And look, you can help us in our mission. We would love to have every business owner in the town of Winthrop have their time to come on here.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to, when you see the show will be saved on Facebook on Winthrop Votes, you can share it with your friends and fellow business owners and encourage them to reach out to us. We're going to reach out to them too. But thank you for being the first.
Thank you for having me. That was really cool.
You continue to impress me with your bravery and just all of it. It's great.
I'm a chicken shit. I was like, I don't want to do it. I hate talking. I talk to people all day long, but I get nervous doing it still. So
wait till you get, you're gonna come. We're gonna have you back on, right? And when you do, we're gonna ask you. So who told you not? We're gonna ask. You don't have to say names, but how many people told you not to come on? Don't tell us.
We're not that bad. Hey, do you have anything? Coming up? Any sales? Any specials? Anything events that you know of, or is it
for events? We're celebrating 90 years in business this year.
There you go.
Opened in 1932, so all year long. Anytime you use your Ace Rewards card, if you don't have one, you can sign up for one. Every time you use your card at the store, we enter you into a raffle, and we're giving away some awesome prizes just as a way to say thank you. We've already given away a Traeger grill and some fun little gift baskets. And yeah.
Excellent. How about a hammer?
By the way, I want all the hammers. Thank you for doing what you do with the billboard too, right? Like, you help people promote. You helped Hannah Belcher promote, and her friend there promote that craft fair. That's another great thing you do. The sports teams. It's all good stuff.
Thank you. That's all we can do. We got to take care of each other. So
that's it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, all right, Lauren. We'll let you. See, the audience doesn't know, but Lauren has a nice pizza that she's been waiting to eat. They don't
coagulated.
like 2 minutes before we came on the air. So part of this was my point was to drag it out a little because I know how hungry she is. I watched her walk by with the pizza. So Lauren, go enjoy your pizza.
Right. Thank you
very much for coming on.
Thanks. Have
Lauren,
a good
take
night.
care.
All right.
We'll talk soon. I'll see you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was good. That was real
good. Wow, that's
a great story.
Listen, that's a great story, man.
Yeah,
that took a lot of courage.
Imagine being in 11th grade, knowing your family's going to be a little upset and just making that decision. That's a big boy decision or a big girl, whatever.
You kidding me? That's focus, man. That is focus and determination and absolute commitment.
That's right.
So she knew what she wanted to do, and that's amazing. Yeah.
You know, oddly, I wonder, like, she's the type of person that should be going into the schools, I think, and, you know, along with college recruiters and doctors or whatever, and saying, this is what I did, you know, and I'm succeeding, right? Like, kids feel all this pressure to have to go to college. Like, okay, you probably should graduate high school. I'm not knocking her for not. I mean, my father dropped out because he had to work to feed his family.
My father, yeah.
So, in fact, I give her credit for doing that.
I think in this day and age, she's a rare bird.
Yeah, she is.
She's a rare bird and she had support. I'm sure as a parent, I would be shaking my head going, I don't know about this.
Right, I'd move, boy.
I don't know, but okay. All right. You know, but, you know, growing up, it was high school diploma. Had to get a high school diploma. You need a high school diploma. If you're going to do anything in your life, you need a high school diploma. Then somewhere along the way, it turned into, you need a college diploma. You need a college diploma. You can't go anywhere without a college diploma. Eventually, the bachelor's are going to be treated like the high school diploma. You need a master's, which it's already pretty much at that point.
Yes, I think we're there.
You need a master's. You can't do anything without a master's. You need your master's. And there's only one stop after that. And I don't think there's going to be that many PhDs floating around anytime soon.
I think with what's his name? Mike, the guy that does the TV shows, working dirty jobs, right? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy with the voice.
Yeah, the guy
with the deep voice.
I think with him and a lot of this college debt stuff, I'm hoping we start to see a shift back to normal. Like, I tell my kids, you got to graduate high school. You do not have to go to college. If you want to, you should be focused. If you're unsure and you want to go, don't go to a $80,000 a year school to figure out what your major might be. Go to a community college or, you know what I mean? Something till you get your feet under you.
There's a little more behind that. I think you have parents, not all, but there's a good percentage of them that need their kids to go to college, and it's almost like a status symbol.
Sure.
Not status in a bad, like, you know, oh, look at, but like I was just bragging about my stepson graduating from FSU, with a degree in physics and a minor in astrophysics. Now he wants to be a teacher, and he wants to teach physics, high school physics. Yep. So, you know, he's going to follow his path, and he's going to get his master's eventually, and, you know, but that's not for everybody, right? It's not for everybody. Like, I had a degree in canine science. What the hell is that? What are you doing, Todd? What are you doing? Are you watching the game? Are you watching the Bruins game?
No, I'm not. I haven't done that.
What are you doing?
I can't see, so I had to get up close just to fix my setting.
Do you wear glasses?
I'm getting them. I'm working on it. I have major problems.
Then that means you should probably get glasses.
Well, it's a little bit more
like Mr. Magoo
than that.
Staring at the screen. All right, look, I won't get into your physical debilities. Is that debilities? Physical
disabilities?
Whatever. I made up a word. All right.
You're a word maker.
So, what do you want to talk about first? The water bill, or do you want to talk about the? Let me pull something up first. Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
So this happened today. Supreme Court says Boston violated First Amendment and Christian flag case. So did Winthrop violate your First Amendment, Todd?
Apparently they did.
Not letting you fly the Gaston flag, and council member Flockhart calling it a racist flag.
Yeah, she's if she actually paid attention to the news, she'd be eating her foot, but she doesn't.
She doesn't
do that,
though.
so.
Well, CNN doesn't tell her that. So, or MSNBC doesn't tell her that. It's not. It's just she sees something. Proud Boys, and which they call a white supremacist group, but there's black members in it. In the Proud
leader's
Boys,
black. The leader's brown.
And Latino, and So councilperson, councilwoman Flockhart called that hat that you're wearing pretty much a racist hat. The Gadsden flag is a racist flag. She runs her mouth, yap, but doesn't educate herself. But she's 81, so people let her get away with it.
Well, the same thing. Tracy Honan was of that same. Stephen Ruggiero was of that mindset.
Gee, what do they all have in common?
Peter Christopher, Phil Boncory, right? They all thought that.
What do they all have in common?
One was being a vote WHORE. The others are Marxists. That's what they have.
Yeah. They don't want to do their homework. They don't want to learn. They only want to be told what to do. They're good at that. So so the Supreme Court. So Winthrop. Once we started this show, and we started shaking the bushes, and they realized, well, we have to get a flag committee together. We're going to make a flag rule, and then they go through all that just to say what? We're going to wait to see what Boston does.
Right? Boy, did that backfire. Yeah, that's what they did. Basically, they were waiting, and then when this came up, they wanted to. I believe the move was to wait because they knew Pete Christopher was not rerunning. They wanted to wait till after the election. You remember, I had the video at the Rules and Ordinances meeting. I took the video of them. They were debating this. The interesting thing, by the way, before I forget, because I'm prone to forgetting, the Supreme Court ruled 9-0. Yeah. This was not on party lines, if you will, on any way. 9-0. Like, this was a violation of the First Amendment. I sent an email today to the council president, the town council, the acting town manager, and the incoming town manager requesting we fly the Gadsden flag for the month of July, to celebrate our independence. We do not have an official policy on the books, and that is the delineation right there. If Boston decides to make a policy, that's another situation. And they could try, by the way, Boston could try to say, you know what? Only they can say only these flags can fly. But if it's anything outside of Mass, POW, and American flag, they're going to have a fight on their hands. And Winthrop can try to do the same thing. But if
Winthrop might have a lawsuit on their hand if they. Well, because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. So if it went the other way, then the liberals on the town council would be jumping for joy. We're going to fly whatever flag we want. We're going to tell you what flag we don't want to fly. We're going to tell you what we want and what we don't want. Oh, Tracy Honan would have been in heaven, in liberal heaven with that one.
That's right.
But now it went the other way. I guarantee you, they are circling their wagons. They're like, oh, no. Oh, no, this isn't going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
We have to make a policy now.
Well, they can, but I think I'm in the clear because I submitted my request now. There's no policy in place now, so I'm going that route. I want that flag flown.
Whose name is going to be on the lawsuit? Whose name is going to be on the lawsuit?
Well, unfortunately,
we can't talk about that, but that's an open-ended question.
That's right, but unfortunately, it's going to involve people we might like.
Whose names are going to be on the lawsuit? See, they thought that they were doing something, under the radar by flying the pride flag over the town greens. And look where we are now. How do they feel now? Huffing and puffing. I wonder if Tracy Honan's eyebrow went up when she read that in the news today. Remember when she didn't get her way in the town council to read her little statement and the eyebrow went up twice? Like,
yeah, that's not over yet, by the way. They're still going after that too. That's still that's still being talked about. It's amazing.
So do you have an update on that?
Not really. It's a lot of it's just kind of hearsay and third party. But obviously it's still being talked. The only thing I know as a fact is it's still being talked about. But I'm not sure. I can't get any line on what the new plan of attack is just yet.
Well, I think they ran the course with the Board of Health. They can just keep going back to Bill the Shill, and he'll
no
give
doubt
them anything he wants. But
no doubt he's going to be involved in this. There's no doubt about that.
He's overstepping his boundaries.
That's right. I agree.
How long is his term? How long is his term?
I want to say he has 2 more years.
2 more years?
Yeah. And
we'll still be around.
We will,
We'll still be around.
God willing, of course.
Yeah. It's definitely a case of stay in your lane, Bill. Stay in your lane. Don't try to rally the other groups.
I meant to tell you this. Go ahead.
On. No.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go. Pick me. So Bill the Shill showed up to the ordinance meeting. We had an open meeting. By the way, this is an important update.
I was going to ask. This is what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you were going to. So we did have that meeting. I don't know if you watched it at all, Scott, but I have to give the chairman some credit. He cracked wise a little bit about not, he didn't want to be seen as lazy. He took a little ownership for the agenda being what it was, which was refreshing. But anyway, the one thing that kept happening with Bill the Shill and Ruggiero, who's on this board with me,
Underdog.
Yeah, no, that's Joe Aiello's underdog.
Oh, Joe Aiello. Okay, I'm sorry.
Steven is the guy who grew his hair out. He's a really nice guy. I got to give him credit. He's a good guy.
All right, yeah.
And us disagreeing
I'm sure they're all nice people. I'm sure they're all
should
nice
not.
people.
Well, I don't know. I question some, but anyway, to be determined.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. Yeah. Anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were like looking for reasons to not have a recall. And I just couldn't wrap my mind around why they're so hell bent against it. They were what they don't even see. Like Bill the Shill wants to put guardrails. He wants to define what we can recall about. And I'm thinking I couldn't comment because it was kind of bothering me, but other people picked up on it and were like, no, the people decide that. Who are you? And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but who are you to decide what people can and cannot recall their elected officials for? It could be ridiculous or it could be serious. If it's ridiculous, you got to trust the voters. You got to trust them. They don't trust the voters. They don't. I've come to the conclusion that Stephen and Bill, for good or ill, they do not trust the voters to effectively carry out this recall.
So let's go a little deeper than that. What is Ruggiero? Is he on the town council?
Yes, he's a council.
All right.
He's a councilor.
So, and Bill the Shill Schmidt,
chairman,
he's the chairman of the Board of Health.
Yep.
So, and they're both of the same ilk, right? They're both of the same mindset, right?
Yes, they are. Yep.
And they both have radical ideas, right? In a sense. So why do you think they'd be so paranoid about a recall and trying to find out and set boundaries? Because they're afraid their agenda will get them in trouble. It's pretty obvious.
Well,
they're afraid their agenda will get them in trouble.
Or we will reject it. Like
I'll tell you what, if there was a recall in place right now, I think we would be screaming for Bill the Shill to be taken out of that position. Just for overreach, for his overreach from the Board of Health and his assistance with an issue that has nothing to do with the Board of Health during Board of Health meetings, and just being so obviously one-sided. So if there's a recall in place, maybe that could be grounds for a recall, right?
Well, you can only recall elected. He's appointed.
Okay, you put pressure on him then.
Right? You got to put pressure on Jim because Jim or whoever the council president is can remove him.
Maybe we should start doing that then. Maybe we should. And I stand corrected if I use the wrong. Okay, if I use the wrong.
More people do it. Do it. Email him. Email Jim.
Let's see. Hold on one second.
If you're upset. All right.
Do I still have his email address? I thought maybe. Yeah, here it is. No, I just have his name up here. I thought I still had his email address.
It's jlateri@town.winthrop.ma.us.
Let me see. It's also the incredible legal costs. Well, you know what? Wendy? You're right. You're absolutely right, Wendy. So maybe the people that are elected should watch what they do and watch what they say, and it won't. It's cause and effect, right? Cause and effect. If they cause it,
it's only
that's what's
illegal.
going to happen.
It's only a legal cost if there's a lawsuit. If we do, I mean, and
We're
let's think about.
you got to bring people into, you got people to work the voting because it's a vote.
Yeah. Well, that's true. It's about 20,000, I think. It's not. Listen, it's not cheap. I'm not suggesting that, and it's a fair point. But it's also fair to say that, well, because of the inept council we've had the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a town manager that was a complete mess. That cost us at a minimum $200 and some odd thousand. We've had lawsuits that we've lost because of ineffective leadership, not willing, in my opinion, to fire this legal firm we've had that's lost just about every single case we've ever had. It's just as dangerous to keep a bad counselor or a bad council president on or a bad school committee member as it is. It's just as expensive and dangerous. So
all elected officials should be accountable.
That's it.
All of them. So Kurt Millar, friend of the show, says you cannot limit a recall by putting guidelines in place. Then who gets to determine what those are? You know who it is? The Ministry of Truth. The Ministry of Truth. Winthrop's going to have, I guarantee you, Tracy Horner's going to start looking for a Ministry of Disinformation. A board of disinformation. Guarantee it. They're the ones that are going to tell us what's right and what's wrong, what the guidelines are and what they aren't. They're going to do it.
The Ministry of Truth. No, the Ministry.
And that's what it is. That's what we're living under right now. How long it lasts, I don't know. But
do you know how
they're going to be the ones. Bill Schmidt wants to be the one. Liberals want to be, instead of just sitting down, because they've already shown that they will vote party line every time, regardless of the benefit to Winthrop or not. They will vote party line every time, which is ignorant.
By the way, Karen Chavez serves on this ordinance review committee with us, and I have to tell you, I've worked with her on when I was on school committee. Yet again, here she is, an expert in another area. I mean, she's been on these. She knows the charter pretty well, probably a lot better than I do, actually. And she continues to give positive contributions. So I make that comment because she's yet again shows her qualifications to be the council president. Yet, and again,
or on the town council
person, right? Sorry. Yeah, and this isn't about the person. Yet we had someone appointed on purely political lines who has zero experience in this area.
Johnny Zero.
But he's undefeated in flag football. I got to give him credit.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
He's running the field.
Football player. Yeah, he's a great flag football player.
Oh, he's a coach. He's the coach.
He's the coach. Okay, he's a great flag football coach. I was going to say he's kind of old to be playing flag football.
No, he does it for the kids. He's good. He's a good community guy. He is definitely a good community guy.
Good.
So we beat that up, Scott. I want to get to this part now, unless you've got anything else to add to this.
No.
So if you could just share my screen. At the town forum, I think it was 2 meetings ago, there was discussion about the water bill. I mentioned earlier that the middle school, the old middle school or the old junior high, whatever you remember it as, and the rink have been sharing a water line and on 2 meters. And the real issue, the funny thing is, and this is a known problem within elected officials and people who have served or worked for the town and the DPW, etc. The issue is no one knows which meter serves which building. I don't understand why or how that can be. I don't get it.
Are you kidding me?
So Kurt Millar, friend of the show, he look, again, the people that are serving will tell you, or have served will tell you, we've already known about this. And that's great. You guys are great. Keep looking inward. The town at large does not know this. And Kurt Millar, as someone who's more on the town at large than on the elected side of the board, did the heavy lifting to dig this all up. I'm going to play the clip. Okay. Just a few minutes of it. And then we'll come back.
Through the good work of Councilor Honan, we discovered that it looks like that the rink has not been paying a water bill, at least in the 2019 assessment that we got.
Full stop. Could you hear that, Scott?
No, let me take this down for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see how this one works.
We discovered that it looks
Oh, yeah, that's better.
that the rink has not been
Play it
paying
again
water
from the
bills
beginning,
in the
please.
2019 assessment that we got. We discovered that it looks like that the rink has not been paying a water bill, at least in the 2019 assessment that we got. And I know
pause
she
it.
has asked you to confirm that.
So full stop. It was earlier mentioned that through the good work of Tracy Honan, she helped. I'm not going to take credit away from her, but the heavy lifting was actually reading the budget and finding out that the rink has not paid. It hasn't paid. It's not supposed by its own. But as far as it knows, the rink, the entity itself, it's actually not supposed to pay because it's being treated like the schools and the fire department. Those buildings are abated. It's absorbed into the ratepayer. So everybody who pays the water rates, us homeowners, but mostly, we absorb those, and that's fine if that's the rule. The problem though now here is, since they've been an enterprise fund, so we got to fix this. I don't know if we're going to get the money back, but this is a found problem by Kurt Millar, and we don't have to play any more of the video because it goes on. They go on to just talk about having some transparency. I had a conversation with the council president about this. They're right. We should also have transparency in the indirect funds, because in the enterprise fund for the rink, there's an indirect line, budget line. But apparently no one knows really what that indirect line pays for. So we're going to need a lot more transparency as we go on. And as this plays out, I'm going to, with Kurt's help, keep on top of this, because it's got to be corrected, so that the rink can pay its water bills. I'll add though that under the new Center Business District project, this is the good news. We've got a separate water line run to the rink. Just needs to be tied in with its own meter, and we'll be off and running. Don't know when that's going to happen. Not sure if I have it 100% accurately right. If I'm wrong, people call in, email, post here, correct me, come on the show, correct me. But that's the synopsis from 30,000 feet.
So I have a photo of the bill. Right. So the bill is what's that say?
15,000.
15,182.
Where's the quarter? Okay, so it was the fourth quarter, or our fourth quarter, the town's third quarter, I think.
I guess.
Because it was billed on the 4th, but it was October, November, December.
That was 2022. So down here in 2021 on 11/1, the bill was 25,000.
Yeah, that was for, okay, so if that's November, if that got that bill in November, that was for our normal third quarter. So that would be for July, August, September usage.
So these bills they don't have to pay these though, right? It gets absorbed by the taxpayer?
Yeah, it just gets added into the overall pool, and then we pay it.
Right. I wonder how many people didn't know that, and we just told them about it.
Right. So we could, and by the way, when we make the statement that they've never paid their water bill, it's a little bit unfair, because it was, when they built the rink, first of all, I mean, how old is the dang rink, right? It was a different time, a different place.
70s.
Everything was different. Right. Yeah. We didn't have issues with paying for water. It was just not a thought.
Right.
And we just did things to get them done, I guess. I wasn't there. I'm not going to judge it. And so it's unfair to say, well, they've never paid it, because that they were considered an abated building back then, as far as I can tell.
Right. All right. Want me to continue?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Want me to keep playing it? It doesn't matter, right?
No, we're good. We're good. You don't have to play it anymore.
All right.
I think more to come, right? So we'll pick that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
absolutely. So Winthrop's an interesting place. Always has been. I guess it always will be. And Winthrop has a lot of people that stay in Winthrop. A lot of people stay in Winthrop, and there's a lot of things that went on in Winthrop that don't go on today, which I guess forms the culture of Winthrop. The culture is formed by the people that live there and the experiences that they've had, right? I guess.
Sure.
So, and of course, there's a different mindset, different attitude because Winthrop is different today. But growing up in Winthrop, I can tell you right now, just on my street, I grew up on Locust Way, which is connected to Locust Street, which is cross Veterans Road and take it right onto Beach Road. And with Locust starts all the way up at Revere Street. When I was growing up, I counted, I think, 70 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's no lie. The streets were packed with kids. And a big part of that, a big part of that neighborhood was Cowboy Hill, right? A lot of stuff.
Cowboy.
Yeah, a lot of goings on happened on Cowboy Hill, which unfortunately isn't there anymore, which starts to change the makeup when you started seeing these places that we grew up with disappear, the makeup. And I noticed it gradually. You've heard me say it before. Every time I came back from the Air Force on vacation, on leave, things changed just a little bit more and a little bit more. And things that we knew weren't there anymore, right? So that changes the way the town feels. But for new people coming in, they don't know about the past. They don't know about the things that these people that have lived in Winthrop their whole lives or continue to go back to Winthrop, like myself, how we lived. And they fight us. That's old Winthrop. Time for a change. You old Winthropites are afraid of change. Not afraid of change. Don't particularly like change. But that's where you get the culture kind of clash. Right?
Sure.
So I grew up on Locust Way, right on Cowboy Hill. We were pretty much right on the hill, right? We had a stockade fence, and then this Cowboy Hill. And it was just a great place to grow up. And this is where we're talking about things, places we grew up and things. Bob Gillis sent this picture, the unofficial mayor of Winthrop. I'm telling you, this guy he's got to get some recognition from the town. He is literally a town historian. Now, I don't know if the story's right. I don't mean to veer off, but evidently somebody had found a treasure trove of photos of Winthrop. I don't know if it was the library or where it was. They were going to get rid of them. And I believe Bob said, no, give them to me. Give them to me. He has unbelievable pictures of Winthrop. And this is one of them. I'm going to put this picture up. So right here.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
So that house on the, not the one up top, but the little cottage to the right of the guy, the railroad guy, because there was a stop there.
Yep.
That house is still there. My house ended up being to the left of that house. The house on the far left I guess it got destroyed, taken down, and they sold the plots off. It was 2 plots, right? So that ended up being 2 houses, mine being the one in the middle and a smaller one to the left of us. And then this house at the top, in the top right-hand corner, I'm telling you, that place has the best view of Winthrop, I think, of any, maybe of any house in Winthrop. That thing is, and you're up on the top floor. So this is Cowboy Hill. This is before the trees.
That's right.
Before the beaten path. Now, what we would do is we would go to the Highland School. We'd walk up Cowboy Hill to the right of that house. You see, it's a 45-degree angle.
Yep.
At the base house, we'd walk up that hill. We're on Summit, and we'd be right there at the Highland School. But in the winter, when it was like this, once everything settled down and the train track was gone, that place was, kids came from all over the town to go sledding there. And
Well, that's
What's up?
right. That's one of my fond memories. Right behind that house, not the big monstrosity, but the one to the left. We
Yeah.
used to sled down there. I used to come up to see. I was friendly with the Nolan family on Sagamore,
yep,
so I would sled with Craig and Brian Thompson and
yeah,
all these kids I knew
yeah.
at the Highland. And then as the trees started growing, Scott, this became a good place to play Cowboys and Indians.
So this is, I know. We played flashlight tag in there. There's a
Yeah,
tree on
flashlight
Cowboy
tag.
Hill. There's a tree on Cowboy Hill right now. It's still there because eventually someone bought that land. I came back from the military one year. My mom told me someone bought the land and they put a house right at the base of the hill, and they took up a big chunk and they fenced it in. So that was the end of that era. But there's still a tree that's left that has 3 2x4s nailed into it. It was a tree fort that me and my brother built.
Oh wow!
It's still there.
The ladder's still there.
Well, it was like a triangle type thing. I guess it was more of a deer perch than a tree house, but we'd sit up there.
Right.
We just
You
we
sat up
called it
there
a
with
tree
your
house 'cause- yeah, we'd sit up there. So now behind this house, let me put that picture up again. This was one of the biggest changes that I saw in this town. So behind this house on the right, you have Indian Hill, right? I don't know where these names came from. They were there. So Indian Hill was you couldn't really do much there because there was a lot of trees there. And it was literally a 45-degree slope, just like the slope on the side of that house. And you just couldn't do anything. You couldn't get in there because there's no road that goes in there. So you think, okay, so the guy and his brother that lived in that little house while we were there, he used to go out in that backyard and he set up like a golf, like a driving range, right? He'd hit it into this canvas.
Oh, great. Yep.
Into this canvas, like whatever sheet. They would go away to Florida for the winter. He came back one year and they had built a monstrosity on that hill. If you go up Summit Ave, it's right next to One Grover's Ave. Right before you take the turn to go up the hill.
I know exactly what you're
That
talking
house,
about.
what they did, it looked like they were building a prison. Because what they did is they bought as much of the land as they could. Then they put this gigantic wall. And then they filled it in and put a house up there.
Yeah, it was
The guy
retaining
came
wall.
back. Yeah. The guy came back. I'm sorry. Am I boring you?
Yes. No, keep going.
I'll speed it up then.
I'm only kidding.
The guy came home from Florida one year and he was heartbroken. He said, "What did they do? What happened? What did they do to this beautiful plot of trees?" And the guy was heartbroken, man. Devastated. That's when I knew it's over. It's over. They put a house on Cowboy Hill. They put a house on Indian Hill. That was it. That was the beginning of the end of the culture. Everything we knew growing up. And then houses started popping up where they weren't supposed to when we were growing up. And so what you have is you have the old mindset of Winthrop, the people that grew up there and know it and watched all this happen. Then you get the new people that come in and say, let's change this. Let's change that. Don't you effing, they have no idea the changes we already saw.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
They have no idea what's already changed in Winthrop. And why would people be opposed to it? Because they don't want any more change. Change isn't always good.
No, it can be a little unnerving for those, like what a lot of people not from the area of New England don't understand is how parochial we are, right? Like we are very attached to where we live,
Yeah.
to the memories that go there, to the neighbors that we had. I mean, this series is going to go on. I hope more people come to light and share their stories. I know I'm going to be reaching out to a friend of mine former teacher who grew up on Sunnyside, because she could probably provide even more insight about my story on Sunnyside, where I grew up in the Marsh and the Pico Park area. But I'm hoping more people come out and share, because these are good. This is all good stuff to kind of bring us back to
About the town.
the roots. Yeah. And
about the town.
what made it a special place, really.
Yeah, it might be boring to some people, but others, maybe not.
That's right.
And maybe not. So, all right, buddy, we just hit an hour. We got another hour out of this.
Wow, that's amazing. We could
Yeah.
what a couple of windbags.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Lauren Murphy, owner of Ace Hardware, for coming on.
That's right.
That
She
was a good segment.
Yeah, it was a great segment. And Scott, thanks to you for your kicking around the Cowboy Hill stories with us. Hopefully, maybe some other folks will reach out and say, hey, I got more stories about Cowboy Hill, perspectives we don't know, right? Things we might have forgotten.
Yeah.
Those are the best stories.
I think the people that moved into the town have to understand the people that lived in the town, what they went through and what they've already seen change before they start judging us, saying, oh, you're just afraid of change.
Right.
Saw a lot of change, man. Saw a lot of it.
Saw a lot of change.
And we're still seeing it. But
yeah. And by the way, culture changes to political change and so forth and so on. So like I always say, all politics starts at the local level.
There you
and
go.
We want you to keep getting involved with us, whether we're talking about memories or businesses or local politics or education, which we haven't forgotten about the schools yet. So
I want to know about that website. Remember the website that the teachers
It's up. It's up.
Uh-oh.
There's nothing. Oh boy.
This is a call from Louisiana. Should I take it?
Oh my God. Yeah, why not?
You're on Winthrop Live.
Dude, you know who it's going to be.
Who is it?
It's Bob, dude. Dude, you know who it's going to be. Lightning Bob. Who is it?
All right.
It's Bob, dude. Dude, you know
it's kicking back.
Lightning Bob.
Bob, you got a lot of echo going there, Bob.
Dude. I got a lot of hold on, man. Let me turn you down.
You're muting something.
Here, I turned it down.
All right. Excellent. So what's up?
Nothing, dude. Just calling because I'm bored and wanted to say hello.
Glad you called, man. It's the show is starting to die. You're saving us, man. You're saving us.
I'm doing everything I can to not start cursing profusely, man. So I'll be nice.
It's kind of not the right show for that, but listen, I appreciate your restraint.
No, I'm trying.
All right.
So anyways, no, nothing new, man. Just I noticed you doing some local politics, and we just not to be going into that bad note, but Shreveport, we just had a 13-year-old girl killed sitting in her living room Sunday afternoon in a very nice residential neighborhood. 3 cars just shooting the crap out of each other. Notice I said crap. I was really close to.
Yeah.
And so we've got some politics going on with that, in that our mayor is absent as usual, with 13-year-old kids getting slaughtered. So just one of them things. So I figured maybe it was apropos for what you guys were talking about with local politics. So
well, unfortunately, we don't really have that. We had one incident last summer that wasn't that good, but it happens everywhere, man. Unfortunately, it happens everywhere.
Yeah, it does. So and hopefully and I noticed you guys are talking about voting, but I really hope that Shreveport finally gets a grip and decides that the way they have been voting for the past 2, but more like Shreve-Afghanistan, 21 homicides, and it's May.
Okay? You're in Louisiana.
21 homicides in a city of 160,000. Do you know what that? Chicago's had 121 with 3 million. So that's what's happening in Shreve. That's what's happening in Shreve-Afghanistan right now.
Well, it's all you got to get the right people in office, man. You got to get out there and get active.
Start your show. Start your own live stream and make it happen.
Your own live stream. I'll help you.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'll help you.
All right, dude. Possibly could do it, man.
You
I don't know if I'm save the country one municipality at a time.
I don't know if I'm as funny as McLean though. I try. You know,
I'm only
There's
as funny as
nobody
the
that
people I'm
funny.
with. How's that?
but and also I have way too much hair. I think I don't know if I can get the headset on or not. You
That's all
know,
right. You put in earbuds.
Wow.
Earbuds will
He's
be fine.
cutting you up. He's cutting you up,
Right.
Scott. Good.
All
You
right,
have to-
brother. Hey, I appreciate
right,
the
dude.
call, man.
Thanks
Hey,
for
no
calling.
problem. Yeah. Nice meeting you, sir. Take care. You guys have a great night. Okay.
All right, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Wow, we got reach.
I
We
got
got
reach. I told you. I have friends that watch this show that don't even live in Winthrop.
Oh, that's amazing.
But you know what? That's interesting because he's talking about his local politics, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
oh,
Oh
here
my
we go.
God. It's a
And this is
hotbed.
from Revere, so at least hopefully this works. You're on Winthrop Votes Live.
Hey,
Hey,
question.
answer.
When did you talk about Cowboy Hill? I wasn't on.
It's the mayor.
Ah.
Hey,
Hi,
Mayor.
guys.
Hey, Mayor, how come you have a Revere number?
I don't know.
You've never even been to Revere.
I haven't been out of Winthrop in 22 years.
That's my boy. That's my boy. I just talked about Cowboy Hill. I put your picture up.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Listen,
What?
do you want the green bar or the golf ball next week?
You know what? Whatever you want to send us, buddy. Hey, and you know what we're gonna do, Todd? While we're live and while we still have people watching, and I have Bob on the phone.
Wake up Bill McGrath first.
I think every couple of weeks we're gonna do a separate show, maybe on a Tuesday night, right? Or even if it's once a month.
Yep.
We have the unofficial mayor, the Winthrop historian on, and he can tell a couple of little things. Doesn't have to be a long show. We can talk about the history of Winthrop and show pictures.
Yeah.
Like a show and
There you
tell.
go.
I like that. It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Is Todd gonna stay up for this though?
Oh.
Bob, I see you in the mornings, my friend. Sometimes.
Is he gonna stay awake?
He's making.
I may be older, but I'm still quick as a dog.
That's my boy. That's my boy. So I love you, buddy.
Bob, you're killing me.
Hey, June
So I'll
25th.
see you.
June 25th. The Elks
I'll
with
see you on the
Tom Party.
26th. I'll see you on the
Yes.
26th.
On the 26th.
All right.
Okay, buddy. All right. Thanks
All
for
right,
calling,
brother.
Bob.
I'll talk to
See
you
you,
later.
Bob.
All right, bye.
Oh, that was funny.
Unofficial mayor, though, Winthrop's historian, Bob Gillis.
Bobby G.
He said he'll do a show. He'll do a show with us, but he can't do it on Mondays.
Yeah, we can do it. That's fine. We can add a day here and there. Whatever.
Yeah, like I
That's
said,
a
every
good
couple
idea.
weeks or once a month, just bring him on a Tuesday night. We'll do 2 shows, and just kind of that will be very light. No politics. Just talk about Winthrop.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know,
That's a
throw
good
out some
idea. You know,
pictures.
There was a couple of suggestions to make a name change because it seems, take it off the political. And I said, I don't know because,
No, we can't change the brand now with 39 episodes in.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know,
Yeah, I don't. Yep.
Can't
Oh,
change
Bruins
the
are
brand.
losing 2-0. Bruins are losing 2-0.
All right. Let's see who had the chat here. Anything? Awesome shortcut. I miss the stories. I like trains. I like Robert Bacon. Robert Vaughn. I like trains. I like
I like them
turtles.
too.
I like turtles.
My wife loves turtles.
I was saying
Turtle.
that was a viral clip back in the day before social.
Yep.
The Turtle Boy. I like turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, all right, let's get out of here.
All right, take it out. We're out.
Yeah,
All
We'll see you
politics
next
us
month.
local.
Local
Share
level.
it.
Say it again.
All politics starts at the local level.
Attaboy. All right.
Do not forget that.
Thank you guys for watching. You are the engine that drives
Yeah.
this machine. Without you guys watching and participating, it would just be me talking to Todd. And well, that's not always fun. But it's fun when we do this.
Yes, it is.
And we will see you guys next Monday night. Thanks for watching. If you like it, share it. Share it, share it, share it, share it. Tell a friend.
Thank you.
All
Tell a
right,
friend or
we're
two.
out.